Hello, my name is Ron Blue, and I want to talk for just a couple of minutes here on the spiritual dangers of debt. Now, we know economically kind of the cost of debt, we can measure that, but what is the spiritual dimension to taking on debt, borrowing money for whatever purpose it might be? Well, there's two things, I think. Number one is that when you borrow money, unless you have a guaranteed way to repay the amount that you've borrowed, you are presuming upon the future. And you are putting, if you will, God in the box that, God, you've got to provide for me because I borrowed this. I'm not sure God will obligate himself to getting you out of a debt situation. I know that in my particular case, when I borrowed money, I've got to repay it. And I can't expect God to drop a whole bunch of money in my lap that I couldn't really see ahead of time. So I never, ever want to presume upon God. I never, ever want to presume upon the future. James, it says, which of you should even think about say I'm going to this city? You don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. You got to be really careful of not violating that presumption upon the future, which is a biblical principle. I think a second, and perhaps, well, it's equally as important, if not more important, and that is, are you denying God an opportunity to work by letting your banker be your provider or your credit card company being your provider? God has promised to provide for us. So am I borrowing because I can't wait? Am I denying God an opportunity to bring something into my life that allows me to see His hand at it? I can't tell you how many times when I've had my plan and then I've seen God do something differently. And it's the whole idea of I always want to see God at work, and I never want to deny Him the opportunity to provide.